And today's grammar point is covering the tag GW connector because this, so that, 连词因为所以. So GW connector just means grammar word connector as in a conjunction, which is a 连词 in Chinese. And 连词 literally means connect word, so hence why we call them connectors. They tend to just put together two different clauses in the sentence in different ways. And so today's is based on the idea of setting up a reason for an action. So the first clause is establishing a reason, and you'll put 因为 at the beginning of that first clause. So 因为 means because, which is literally translated as reason in for, wait. So reason for, and so then you'll say what the reason is. And then the second clause, you'll start that with 所以, and then put in the action. So 所以 means so, and so you'll say because plus reason, so plus action. So let's look at some example sentences so you get a feel for it. Sentence 1. 因为要迟到了，所以我走得很快. Because I'm going to be late, I'm walking fast. So the reason the speaker is performing the action 走得很快 is because they're going to be late. 要迟到了. But in English, we wouldn't normally say because reason, so action. That's kind of redundant. It's kind of just implied that the so is there. So just bear that in mind that in Chinese, you'll often put them both together. You'll say 因为什么什么，所以什么什么. So if that's something that happens and it's a little bit confusing, you'll get used to it. And you can omit them, which we'll get into later, but also take note that in English, we'll tend to say, because I'm going to be late, I'm walking fast. So we double establish the subject of I. Whereas in Chinese, you only have to put it once. So in this example, 因为要迟到了，所以我走得很快. So we only put in 我 in the second clause, so you can establish the subject in the second clause, and you don't have to put it in both. You can. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not necessary. And so that's kind of... So on the one hand, you have this part of the sentence that English doesn't have, in the sense that you say because and so in the same sentence, but then you also only have to establish the subject one time. So just bear that in mind. Now, naturally, some of you might be thinking, well, in English, we also wouldn't tend to say the reason before the action. We tend to say, I'm walking fast because I'm going to be late, whereas the order here is because I'm going to be late, I'm walking fast. And we tend to put the action first, followed by the reason. And you can do this in Chinese as well, but you have to add two characters to it. So there's this structure, which is 之所以什么什么是因为什么什么. So let's take a look at this same sentence, but in that structure. So, 我之所以走得很快，是因为要迟到了. So that's an example of where you put the action first, followed by the reason. Now, if you do this, you need to put 之 before 所以. And 之 is the archaic form of the character 的, which is the most common character in Chinese, 的. And that just indicates possession. And it's kind of an interesting thing. So if you say 我之所以, it's almost like you're saying my so is, which is a little bit weird, but it's kind of an interesting way to conceptualize it. And then if you say 我之所以走得很快, then you have to say 是因为. So you must add 是 before, like, so my reason for walking fast is because 我要迟到了. So that's an example of the way you can switch the order by putting the action first and then the reason. But the only other thing you should know about this, though, is that the 之所以是因为 structure is a little bit more formal. And as we've talked about many times before, formal language is not wrong to use in spoken language. It just makes you sound a bit more proper, which, may or may not be appropriate to the context. Okay. So let's take a look at another sentence here. 因为我晚上8点才下班，所以他们等不了我回家去吃饭. So this is an example where you could, if you wanted to, take out the 所以. So you could say, 因为我晚上8点才下班，他们等不了我回家去吃饭. So either way, it's because I don't get off work until 8. They can't wait for me to come home to eat. And so sometimes you can omit 所以 if the context is clear enough, which in this sentence is clear enough because it's like you're in the first part of the sentence, you're establishing that it's a bit late that you get off work. And that, by the way, that's the 才, that's the why that 才 is there. 我晚上8点才下班. That 才 indicates that from the speaker's perspective, 8点 or 8 o'clock is a bit late, right? If he said 我晚上8点就下班, then from the speaker's perspective, he thinks that 8 o'clock is early. But, you know, on the basic 9 to 5 schedule, you can understand why he would say that 8 is kind of late to get off work. And so, because that context is super clear, if you want, you can omit the 所以 and just go right to 他们等不了我回家去吃饭. They can't wait for me to come home and eat. So, again, there's this reason, action, duo here that we're getting. And remember that 之所以是因为 bit. Let's take that same sentence and turn it into that particular structure. So, how about this? 他们之所以等不了我回家去吃饭是因为我晚上8点才下班. So once again, you can switch the action to the first part of it and the reason to the second part by going 之所以是因为. And let's take a look at another sentence. 我家的钟坏了，所以我不知道现在是几点. The clock in my house is broken, so I don't know what time it is now. So the reason that I, or 我, does not perform the action of knowing what time it is now, 知道现在是几点, is that the clock in my house is broken. 我家的钟坏了. So this is an example where you can omit 因为 if you want. There's no need to necessarily add it. Again, if the context is clear, you can have one or the other. Now, I find that when I'm starting off with this and I'm a beginner with the 因为所以 structure, I usually include them in both clauses. But as you get more advanced, you'll start to see, okay, I don't need to add the 因为 or I don't need to add the 所以. And there's no like hard and fast rule about it, but it is good to know that you can omit them if you want, but at the beginning, you might as well include them each time to be clear, to make sure it's clear what you're saying to a native speaker. Now, remember, you could also say, 我之所以不知道现在是几点，是因为我家的钟坏了. So it's the same thing where you flip the action and the reason by using the 之所以是因为 structure. So keep this structure in mind as you get more new input, and when you see it, ask yourself, where is the reason and where is the action? So keep it up. 谢谢你观看我们的这个视频. If you found this video valuable and you'd like us to help you reach fluency and literacy in Mandarin Chinese as fast as possible without all the headache of traditional learning methods, just head to mandarinblueprint.com to learn more. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell below to be notified every time we release a new video. And of course, 保重.